Wrestling fans, promoters, wrestlers, and anyone who enjoys pro wrestling now have something new to be excited about. The Wrestling Fans International Association, the WFIA, is back. WFIA is an association that exists to promote, grow, and support professional wrestling throughout the world. Membership is free. Your membership includes a free digital bi-monthly publication of the Wrestling Fan News newsletter, association updates, voting privileges, and much more. Please go to thewfia.org, that's THEWFIA.org, and become a member today.
Welcome, everybody, to PWZ on W.O.N Sports here, Channel 48 in Brooklyn and across the United States on many affiliates. I'm Rick Del Santo, Harry Davila, of course, joining me as he does each and every week. We have a very special guest in Red Sawyer. We're going to get to know Red a little bit here today, something I'm really looking forward to. So what's up, gentlemen?
What's going on, Red?
Yeah.
What's up? What's up?
Yeah.
What's the purpose of this? What are we doing here? You invited me on the show, and let's see where we're going with this.
We just want to talk about you, sir. We just want to see what you're about. Give us a little insight to the life of Red Sawyer. Talk about anything that you got coming up, anything you want to get off your chest. This is literally for you to talk about you.
All right. I'd be, surprised that people be interested, but we'll see.
I mean, Rick?
We are here to learn. I mean, you are a professional wrestler as well as either way, professional wrestler, and you are very creative in what you do in professional wrestling. I am a big fan. Harry would tell you that as much as I speak highly of you and
very highly,
and supporter, very big supporter. And we want to know about your career, what got you interested in this, and all that stuff. What made you get involved in the wonderful, wacky world of professional wrestling?
Dude, I am not like a lot of people where I wanted to do this. Really, like I didn't have no like dream of doing this, aspirations since I was a kid. Like a lot of people, I honestly wanted to do music, but the various problems that arose in my life when the pandemic happened kind of forced my hand into having to do this for a living because, I wasn't going to be able to do music like I had practiced for so many years. That's all out the window now. That's gone. And I, would have trouble holding down what you would consider a regular job. So, I mean, what else do I do really is I fight, and I've been fighting since I was in high school with people older than me, younger than me, not my brothers or anything. I don't have any brothers. I don't have any sisters, but I ended up being standoffish when I got older. And so I know I can fight. So I became a wrestler to kind of get money doing that. And professional wrestling is, I mean, come on, it's almost anything goes at times. You know, I don't think I would fall into boxing or MMA with the restrictions and I mean, just look at me. I don't think I would fit into something a little more conglomerated.
Okay.
So wrestling is kind of where I was forced to end up.
Maybe something more commercial is what you're referring to, mainstream, maybe?
Yeah, perhaps, even though wrestling is also mainstream in many ways. Well, I mean, that's a whole other topic.
There's levels to it, I guess you could say.
Definitely levels.
There's definitely levels. You got the wacky world, Disney, Coca-Cola, McDonald's version of it. And then you have
Coca-Cola, McDonald's.
Am I wrong though?
No.
But then you have the, you have the I guess, RC Cola version with the independents.
Did you just call the independents RC Cola?
Would you rather me say like Fox and Park?
No, but
Oh,
that's
all
I
right.
mean, sheesh. I don't think it's RC Cola. I think it's definitely Coca-Cola.
Oh, okay.
But you spoke about fighting as a youngster before getting even into wrestling. What would you say your win-loss record is in regular shoot fighting? Red?
A lot more losses than wins.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, when you fight, you don't lose, you learn. I don't respect
Oh.
fighters that say about, oh, I'm undefeated. I'm undefeated. A lot of these people, like Floyd Mayweather, for instance, how many people did he fight at the end of their careers? How many taxi cab drivers from Guadalajara did he beat up? How many, he beat Canelo Alvarez. He cherry picked Canelo when he was young. So I don't respect it. Oh, I have a zero. I've never been defeated. There's plenty of fighters and wrestlers out there that have taken many losses. And some of the toughest guys too. I mean, like, let's talk about tough guys. Who's some of the toughest people in wrestling you could think of? Like David Finlay or Haku. These are people that are William Regal. These are people that are real tough. You've seen them lose plenty of times.
Yeah.
Very true.
I'd have to say Regal, maybe Taz or somebody of that nature.
Haku is definitely right on the money as far as like people who can beat people up. You know what I'm saying? Haku is one of those stories that you hear about where Haku will bite somebody's nose off or something.
That was one time, dude.
Hey, it still happened.
It's the legend that lives with this guy forever.
Still happened.
Yes.
He run into Big Show, and he met his match in that match. He lost that one.
Yeah,
we're gonna take away. Oh, Haku got an O on his record now, or you don't have that O anymore.
Let me ask you. You were talking about a music career. Let me talk about what were you doing in the music business before?
It's not necessary, but I play a lot of instruments and I can write songs too.
Yeah.
Whatever genre.
What instruments do you play?
I can play guitar. I can play piano. I can play drums.
I just noticed that the first time I saw you, okay, I'm going to tell you the first time I saw you was at a Texas Strength show in Waterbury, probably last summer, maybe the summer before it. Here, am I wrong?
Uh-huh.
The Elks Lodge, maybe. I remember this guy coming out. First, you reminded me.
It depends on the match you're speaking of, because I might know what you're talking about.
I remember it was the night that Ryan Frost, there was the dusty finish with taking the title against
Waterbury
Santos.
screw job.
Yeah, exactly. That night was the first time.
I beat up Mark. I beat up Mark in that one.
Mark who? Mark Alexander? Okay. You're right. Alexander. Okay. Sorry, I just need a little refresher sometimes. That was the first time that I think I saw you as a professional wrestler. And then I got to meet you, I think, a few months later at another Test Strength show. But something that struck me was you had a lot of patches by a lot of punk bands, punk and grindcore, hardcore bands. These are a lot of bands that I saw in the late 80s, early 90s, a lot of these bands. So I was very familiar with these bands that you represented on your patch, and it kind of like struck me, and I became an instant fan of you because of that. And not only because of that, it's also because you reminded me maybe of someone such as like Bruiser Brody or something to that effect. Would you ever say that he might have been an influence on you and your style?
I mean, I also kind of have that appearance with my hair. It just so happens to be like that. A lot of people tell me Bruiser Brody or a Raven. People might try to typecast me. People might try to typecast me, but it's okay. And I can see the similarities. I admire the way Bruiser Brody fights because I'm not about doing snazzy leg locks and big flips. I just try to come in the ring and beat you up. And if I got to cheat to do it too, I understand the rules of wrestling. I know how to bend them. I know how to work behind the referee's back. And I'll admit, I'm in my 30s. There's a lot of these guys have been doing it since they were, 20s, even wrestling in high school and stuff. Yeah. I mean, you look at a Jordan Rowe. I give credit to Mark Alexander too. He's a young dude who puts in work. And, I got to catch up to them somehow, because I'm losing in the age department. So I got to cheat. I got to bite. I got to gouge eyes.
Speaking of first times, the first times I got to lay eyes on you, I want to say it was December 3rd, maybe 2 years ago. You were a late replacement for Davey Richards against Ichiban for the
Right.
K1 title. That was the first time I think I'd ever even known you were even a person in wrestling at the time. And I remember when the announcement was made that Davey Richards couldn't make it, I was a little bummed. And then you came out to take the challenge, and I didn't know what to expect, if I'm being completely honest. I didn't know whether or not this was going to be something I was going to be excited for. At the time, it was very early in my career in wrestling. And you went and pretty much stole the show with Ichiban. And I'm being so completely honest here. I remember going, man, that was way better than I had any expectations of it being going into it. Again, and not knowing who you were. Ever since then, you've impressed me every time I've gotten to see you, including last year at Fight for Your Dreams against Mark Alexander in the street fight.
Well, thank you for that.
I believe that was your breakout performance as a wrestler. And I believe it was on that night that you solidified who you were as a threat to anybody in that locker room.
Indeed. I feel like I could have done a lot more to Mark. I kind of regret that, I went for the kill when I did. I feel like I could have done a lot more punishment in that match. I feel like Mark might not be wrestling right now. The fact that he's, kicking it right now and he's having some tag team success just goes to show, too, he doesn't have confidence in himself, by the way. He needs to get this, where the hell he even come from, Nolan Pierce. And the tag team, what they call themselves, Crossfire. I'm not even going to say what I was about to say. But I could have taken him out there. And the fact that I stole that show, I caught Davey Richards slipping. I don't want to, because, statute of limitations, I don't want to go exactly and admit. But I will admit, he did get sick with COVID due to a little foul play on my end.
Oh,
can't trace it back to me. I said it right there. I'm not going to say exactly how, but he did contract COVID through my doing. I made that opportunity happen for myself. And that was the fight on the card. You saw somebody come out there. I was going to take Ichiban out at all costs. He's a superhero. He embodies hope and mindless heroism to the audience and test of strength. I wanted that to be my breakout match and show everybody this ain't it. This fancy, arrogant, athletic, quote unquote style. No, I came out there and I beat him up. The referee got kicked. He kicked the referee in the face, and he got his retribution for that. I DDT'd him on the chair. I was about to spear him through the chair in the corner. He wants to do his fancy little leapfrog. And I got a concussion that night. But we keep going. I don't let those concussions hold me back. I'm already kind of far advanced. So let's just ride, baby. Let's let it ride. Let's keep going. Let's keep fighting. Let's not stop.
Speaking of test of strength, you seem to have fallen under the guise of Dan and Dan and
I
the
am
mission.
a friend of Dan. I am.
You are a friend of Dan.
I'm a friend of Dan. I work closely to Dan. But don't consider me a full mission member. His cause, I don't support 100%, but he will help me. It's a scratch his back, I'll scratch mine situation. He'd scratch mine. You know what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
But, my God, man, there's a lot of stuff I can't tell you about Dan. It's weird. It's ups and downs. But overall, he's helping me. Patrick Saint left us. I'm upset over that. I considered Patrick a really good friend of mine. He convinced me to join the mission. He left. I'm still caught up in it. Gonna help Dan take out the people he needs to take out. so he could spread his message. He doesn't represent capitalism. That's the thing. When I first saw Dan, when I first laid eyes on him, I considered him a rich aristocrat who wanted to push poor people down, who wanted to take money, hoard it, like all these other bureaucrats, politicians in this world. But really, he's not like that. I mean, he's more like a dragon in his cave, hoarding his fortunes of war, And the fact that he dresses nice, it just shows that he respects himself.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm big on that too. I do respect myself. Despite the times that I don't, I really try to. And I'm not going to totally help Dan with everything. There's a lot of secret stuff I don't want to talk about that we don't agree on. But I'll beat up the people he needs me to beat up. And in exchange, he's giving me a place to stay at the moment. To be honest. Okay. Giving me a place to stay, helping me with cost of living. Isn't that a messed up concept too, the cost of living?
Yes.
Have you ever thought of that?
Tell me about it.
Yes, it is.
You're born on this earth, and it's like you're in a taxi cab and the meter's going.
Yeah.
You owe somebody money just for being here. The cost of living, huh? What a joke. What a sham.
I mean, not to get too far off a wrestling subject, anyway, but I mean, it's a shame that we have to pay so much and that we don't get paid enough working a 9-to-5 job just to be able to pay rent or mortgages, buy groceries, and support our families. It's ridiculous.
And I fight to do that, guys. I fight to do that.
Do you though?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I beat people up and they beat me up and I got paid for it. That's how I make my living.
Nice. All right.
You consider me the bottom of the barrel, and there's people in pro wrestling that glorify it.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to that's another reason I really want to hurt Mark, because he thinks there's glory in this pro wrestling stuff. There's bravery. Yeah, there's a lot of guts to step in that ring. But I mean, is it a good thing to beat people up? I know it's not. I do bad things, but I don't glorify it. I'm not evil. I have to do it.
Like a hired henchman, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Red, how long have you been wrestling? Give or take.
I've been training for 3 years.
Training for 3.
And it took me a year. It took me a year to get my first fight. And it was one of those battle royals that I've come to love.
So you've been wrestling for I want to say maybe a little less than 2 years. Where besides Test of Strength and recently at BST, where else have you laid your groundwork? Where else have you wrestled and beat up a bunch of people?
I've gone to the Monster Factory.
Okay.
I've gone to Wrestler's Lab.
Okay.
I've had fights out in Ohio for Future Great Wrestling, for Battle on the Border, Vacation Land, county fairs, just random county fairs here and there. Shut Up and Wrestling in Holyoke that's not around anymore, that I wonder where they are. I enjoyed going there. And a bunch of other places that I got bubbling. Others I may have forgotten. Some that have slammed the doors in my face. But slowly but surely, we're going to make our way across this nation. We're going to spread this message.
Now, you recently made your debut at BST with a fantastic scrap with Evander James.
Man.
Do you have anybody that you're aiming for in the BST locker room?
Aiming for? Well, I know you got Patrick Saint floating around, and I always got my sights set on him lately. I mean, obviously, him and Dan had the falling out, and I guess he's out of the mission. Same way, it's almost like the Patrick Saint mission situation is almost like Kosovo and Serbia. Is an argument. Yes, you're in the mission. No, I'm independent. No, Dan don't recognize it. Dan, Pat is still in the mission. Pat is claiming his own independence. There's going to be a war over it, and it's going to keep going. It's never going to end.
Well, if I remember
But
correctly,
I want to
it
take him. I
was
want to take him out and try to settle this. Bring the mission back together. Pat had my back, man. Me and him got out. We would make the rounds. We had a little tag team going.
Aren't you guys former tag team champions? Or current tag team champions?
I've never held a belt.
I could have, or maybe you were replacing some. I could have sworn I saw you and Dan with the New World. Is a New World Extreme Tag Team champion?
There you go. There's an example of the mercenary tactics of Red Sawyer. I went to New World Wrestling Extreme, and I helped them against, who was it? Oh, yeah, that's right. That TKO and the Mighty Bosch. And then Sid running around. And I chased them off. I got in Sid's face. She wanted to interfere. Referee wasn't looking. I said, you stay your place. Bosch came over because he got upset. I almost took a swing at him myself, but that would have got the team disqualified. Pat came, speared him 1, 2, 3. We got the belts. All I had to do was stand on the outside, run a little interference play, keep her from getting her interference play off, and the gold. That's why Dan wanted me on the team. I know how to get stuff done.
Okay. Rick?
Who would you say would be your toughest opponent to date, or your toughest fight, I should say? I think I got to see you, I think, last month take on Ryan Frost for a Tetsu event, I believe, which I had the honor to be a part of. And I think that it was quite a interesting battle, if you will.
Yeah, man. Ryan took a beating in that one. That was, listen, he's a big guy. Big guy.
Yeah.
I had to jump him from behind. I knew. Get him because the flaw of Ryan Frost is that the fans give him all his confidence. He is so connected to those fans out there that I knew I could catch him when he's in that entranceway, grandstanding and hot dogging and shaking hands and kissing babies. I ran at him right at the entranceway. I sneak attacked him. I ran him into the post on the outside. I hit his head. I thought he was knocked out. I rolled him under the ring. I said he was dead and buried, but he crawled back in at the last second. I beat him. I stomped him. I punched him. I did everything I could to him. Oh, my God, he wouldn't go down. That dude would not go down. I give him that much credit. And next thing you know, I missed something. I hit my head, turned around. He hits me with that slam. I was told he hit me with that slam. That whatever, the Brass City Slam, that, oh, my God.
Do you not remember it?
I remember waking up in the front of the Boys and Girls Club with a lady asking me, telling me, oh, do you know where you are? I said, I'm at the fight in Bristol. She said, yeah. That's all I knew. I just knew I was in Bristol. I forgot who I had fought. They interviewed me right after. You can see I'm out of it.
Okay.
But what do you do? This is the game I play, and I got to give him credit.
Now, now we're talking about Tetsu, BST, Test of Strength. Any title aspirations for you? Is it just something that you just want to go out there and fight?
I want the K1 Classic.
Ooh.
I want to take that off of Ichiban.
Wow.
I've had 3 fights with him. I've took him at Test of Strength. I had him at New England Ring Gladiators, and I had him at that one they used to run in Torrington. I forget the name. They stopped running.
Yeah,
but
we won't discuss that.
So, man, I've taken him 3 times, and every time he sneaks it, man. He barely gets by. Last one, he rolled me up. I put him in my submission. I put him in the Final Fortune. He almost submitted, made it to the ropes. I dragged him back to the center of the ring to hook it again. He got his legs up. Victory rolled me. Can't believe it.
So it seems like
I was this close.
It seems like every time you wrestle Ichiban, you get closer and closer to that big win against him.
Yes.
So do you think if you had one more shot at him in the K1 that you would take it?
Yeah. I'm ready for it.
I think that when you were in Torrington, you were referring to, you guys went all over the arena. if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I
You
know.
guys were all over. I think I have that on my on the video channel. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
on
because
YouTube.
that
Yep.
was again. Let's see. Let's talk about the rules of the match, right? The ref, you got to be in the ring to start the match. Referee can't ring that bell. If that bell doesn't get rung, he can't disqualify you. It's moot. There's no count out. He can suggest get back in the ring, or he could throw it out, no contest. And I know a lot of these referees, they don't want to go to a no contest or a disqualification. A lot of guys will be lenient with you, you know? So another reason I got into pro wrestling, I can bend them rules. And I said, all right, let's take him out right when he's cheering, right when he's looking at his fans, much like Ryan Frost. I'll jump him from behind, I'll throw him out there, and I'll just take him around, show him around the building, and bring it back to the ring when I finally got them all beat up, ring that bell, and I'll go in for the kill. I gotta say, that was my toughest fight with him. I probably got my ass beat the most in that one. He really laid it to me there. I got him in the end. I had him in my finish in the end. You can't take that away from me. At the end of the day, I was gonna have the upper hand. He just had the right move to counter me at that right exact time. But he was on the ropes. He was out.
One of the things that you trained at Texas Strength, correct? Did I get that right?
Yes.
Yes. How did you connect with Texas Strength, and what's it like training under Slick Wagner Brown?
It took me a long time to convince Wagner to show me stuff about wrestling. You know, it took me because he kind of saw me as weird, you know, and you got to realize too, when I got into wrestling, I don't like, how could I put it? I was a lot more apprehensive and distrusting of people right before I got into wrestling. At that point in my life, I was uh, um, about to be homeless. You know, my whole life was sabotaged. You know, I lost all my money. I lost my reputation, and it was taken from me by, you know, shadowy forces. That's a whole other topic.
Shadowy forces?
Yeah,
The
I'm
government?
talking about gang stalking and
Oh,
me being targeted individual and various things like that. You could look that into yourself, you know, look into it yourself. But Wags was at first very, no, get away from here. You know, hey,
Mm-hmm.
kid, beat it. You know, he kicked me out early a few times. I kept talking to him. I begged him, please, please, you got to show me because I got nothing else going on. Like, what can I do to prove to you, like, that I'm stable, you know, that I can gel with the people in class, you know, that I'm coachable. And we talked about that. I did what I had to do. He had me come in for one-on-one. He said, you know what? Come in one-on-one for an hour. I just want to see where your head's at. We'll get in the ring. I'll show you some stuff, and then we're going to sit down. We're just going to talk for a while. And me and him figured that out. He showed me what he had to show me. I know my techniques. You kind of get to a point, and he kind of lets you go into the world, and you got to wrestle. And you know, I train at the dojo still, but I don't know. Wagner has been different since he won the belt. It's been kind of different. You know, a lot of students don't agree with, you know, what he did to Frost and everybody else that tested strength. A lot of students are
Do you agree?
like, why,
Yeah,
Wags, why? I don't. Hey, you know, I don't think what he did was wrong. It
why
upsets people.
why is that though, that you don't think that it was wrong?
He had a good point. Ryan was sticking his nose in his business, and you want to know something? That's a settlement between two men. You know what I mean? You don't have to agree with somebody or not, but that's not evil against the world. You know, Wagner just said, don't stick your nose in my business, Frosty. Trying to save me. I don't need you. He had enough with him. He snapped. He beat him up with that cane. And, you know, maybe that's kind of a bit of an attitude change. Maybe Wagner's kind of gotten sick of some stuff, you know, but I don't disagree with it.
Okay.
Still a great wrestler, still a legend, and you know, me and him still talk. You know, it's all business with me and him.
I understand.
You mentioned not trusting people earlier due to your past and the things that have happened to you, but you also have gone on record to saying that you don't trust birds.
No.
Yeah, tell me about
because,
this. Hey, please explain this. Yes, because that's something I also wanted to bring up. So thank you, Harry. So yeah,
Try my best.
My God, this is like, it's so tired. You know, like I'm getting like sick of saying it. You know, like I feel like everybody's already heard it. You can go do your research. Straight up, there are many, many bird drones in this country that do surveillance on U.S. citizens like myself and you, Harry, and Rick, and everybody. You don't realize it.
Birds are watching me?
Yes. I mean, there are cameras already everywhere, right? Would you not agree already that there are tons of cameras that you're already getting filmed?
I mean, I guess, but I don't really pay much attention to it. Like I'm really just like I'm like a free bird. I just do what I want.
Yeah,
a free
it's just
bird.
Another.
Really?
It's just another. So how are you gonna have security? How are you gonna have surveillance cameras in the woods?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh,
exactly, through birds. That's how this all started. Because if you commit a crime, if you commit a bad crime, and they want to find out who did it, what are they gonna do? They're gonna find, oh, there's this gas station that he passed by. Here's a little clip. Okay, we know he's going that way. Hey, and then he went by McDonald's, and he got him on security there. And then he went into the Home Depot to buy a garbage bag to toss the body in, and we got him on security there. Like, they can track you. You have a cell phone in your pocket that's tracking you. You understand? Mine. I don't even tell you how I got mine. It's de-chipped. I had to talk to a special guy who he was in the Air Force. He helped me with this phone so I could talk to you guys. But everybody's being tracked. You know, people worry, oh, they're going to put microchips in your arm one day, and that's going to track you on a satellite. You already have the microchip. It's in your phone. You put it in your pocket in the morning. You know, the government is so much about following you.
Are you on a burner right now? Are you on a burner phone?
Of sorts, yeah.
Jesus Christ. Rick, what the?
You booked a guest, dude.
You want it? Why? Why are you on a burner phone?
Why would it get back to you?
Yeah.
What am I doing? What am I doing that's wrong that affects you? I don't want to be tracked. I don't want people to know where I'm at. It's already bad enough. Honest to God, I'm at this gas station. They already know I'm here. I don't need the government or FBI, anybody else, to know where I'm traveling to. And let me tell you, I travel a lot.
So what if
I'm always on the move?
So you don't want to be tracked. You don't want the birds following you. You're on a burner phone. What if something happens to you? How is anyone supposed to find you?
Hold on a second, Harry. Like, in Red's defense, it's 2023. That's only been a thing for like the last 15 years. What happened in the 1980s and 50s? If somebody disappeared, they disappeared. They put your face on the news, on a telephone pole, and if they found you, they found you. If they didn't, well, you know.
Okay, so
we're in a different time period. We're in a different time.
You're right. To my question, do you want to be found if something happens to you?
I wouldn't. I mean, just saying. But
Rick,
sorry. Oh, sorry. We're not interviewing me.
Red, let me re-ask the question. If something were to happen to you, would you not want to be found?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not at this point.
I'm alone on that one. Okay. All right.
And I mean, I've kind of catered it to basically like this. Like, I don't talk to my dad or my mom anymore, you know. I don't have any grandparents. My aunts and uncles, cousins, none of them talk to me. Especially over the past few years, the few that did have definitely distanced themselves from me. And it's like the only people that would notice if I was gone are like the people who see me wrestle. So it's almost, that's what's gonna kind of deter people from getting rid of me, is because they'll notice, oh, Red didn't show up for his booking. I gotta Find out where he is. Hey, did you find out? Like, you guys will find out where I'm at. The fans will wonder where I'm at. Those are the people that wonder. I don't have anybody personal in my life that care.
I wouldn't say that. I've been to a couple shows as of late, and I've seen that the fans have seemed to have your back all of a sudden.
They're fans.
The fans that once hated you.
That's fine.
The
They're
fans that once
That's
hated
fine.
you are now cheering you on. I would say they care.
Listen, those rubes can go buy some cotton candy and walk the midway with the rest of them, okay?
Yikes.
I don't have respect for the
Rubes.
fans like that.
Wow.
I don't need fans like I'm Orion Frost or Ichiban or Mark Alexander. I don't need you guys. You guys can just watch along, see what I'm doing. It's a one-way interaction with me and the fans. You understand that? Because when I have two-way interactions with people, when I have two-way relationships, it goes bad. So the only relationship I have now is people see me, look at me, and there's no feedback. I don't care. Oh, good or bad. Yay, Red, we like you. Boo, Red, we don't like. I do not care. I'm here to be me. You know what I mean? I'm a human being. I'm not a human doing. All right. I'm here to just be. I'm not here to do things and be, have an interaction. I just am what I am. Just view me.
You're an enigma. You're a puzzle. Trying to solve it here.
I'm very clear. I think I'm very clear.
I wouldn't be so sure. We're gonna switch it up a little bit. We're gonna play a little word association. I'm gonna throw a couple names at you, and I want you to tell me first word that comes to your mind. I want you to. So I'm gonna throw a couple names. We'll start off with your rival, Mark Alexander.
Insecure.
Ichiban.
Superhero.
Patrick Saint.
Betrayal.
Ooh. Evie De La Rosa.
Strong.
Evander
This is
James.
what you want, right? Just one word back and forth.
Hey,
We could do that.
Evander James.
Indoctrinator.
Ooh, that's a good word.
Wow.
A good word.
Wow.
Dan the Man.
Business associate.
Alex Rojas.
The unseen hand.
Ooh. Last but not least, Slick Wagner Brown.
God.
Wow.
Heavy.
That is heavy.
Heavy.
I give Wagner all the flowers in the world. People don't give him enough credit.
Oh, he's a legend.
There's a reason
You said
why
it yourself.
he's under the name the Underground King. There's a reason for that. He is
Absolutely. He is exactly that, the Underground King. He's been doing this for.
I can't tell you how long I've been watching that guy. Like
exactly.
Like I remember when he was still with the lady's name,
April Hunter
back in the day. Yeah, working small VFW halls and
Ring of Honor.
I saw him Ring of Honor, TNA. He did a stint in the TNA at one point. Yeah,
he should just be the king. It shouldn't be the Underground King. It shouldn't be the anything king. He's the king.
I get you.
And it's what it is.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself ever being across the ring from a Wagner Brown in the future?
I have faced him.
Okay.
That was probably the fairest fight, the most good I felt about going into a fight. That was the least personal one. I mean, that was coach and student for sure. We agreed, hey, we're gonna go at it, and what it is, it is. And at the end of the day, it's kind of a test. He wanted to test me.
Right.
And I gave him all I had. We said, hey, we'll apologize afterward. But once that bell rings, like, it's going to be business. And, he beat me. He hit me with that leg lariat. My God, that emergency. That's a big man. That's a big man. People don't appreciate the way that he can move at his size. And I know that's like such a cliche thing to say. Bam Bam Bigelow's and Vader's and all this. When you see Wagner do a moonsault, that blows a Bam Bam Bigelow or a Vader out of the water.
I've seen Wagner do some like Arabian moonsaults back in his day, man. I know what he's capable of doing.
Shooting star. I've seen a shooting star.
Wagner, for a guy his size, doing some of the stuff that he does is pretty incredible, especially because he was one of those guys that were doing it before it became almost like a regular thing.
Yeah.
Like guys like Keith Lee and stuff like that are doing it now. There's no way you're going to tell me that they weren't watching guys like Slick Wagner Brown do it first.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he was very innovative for his time coming into the business. There's a lot of guys. He influenced probably the modern state of professional wrestling, if you think about it. A lot of the stuff that people are doing, a lot of the stuff that people are doing now, Slick was doing 25, almost close to 30 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I forgot what I was about to say about him. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good, man.
You're
good. Being said, do you see yourself still wanting to learn more things under Wagner Brown? Is that somebody that you still want to be under as far as like mentorship, or is that
I still am?
Or do you still? Okay, well, my question, I guess, will revert to is like, do you eventually want to see him as a rival?
They would have to. That would be circumstantial. I don't want to see that.
Okay.
But what I've learned is you only trust people so much. People change on a drop of a hat. People just turn very easily, very quickly, and you may find out that the person that you thought you knew, you really didn't after all. And then you got to get away from them. I'm real quick to abandon people if I get a weird vibe. I shut myself down from people real quick.
Could you say that's a detriment to you?
No, it's a necessity.
Why is it a necessity?
Because there's people that want to hurt me. There's people that stalk me.
You say people are stalking you?
Yes. You Google gang stalking, you Google targeted individual. You can learn about those types of things that basically, in a nutshell, guys, like I used to like talk with a lot of people who had like opinions on conspiracy theories and stuff. And I didn't believe it at first, but all of a sudden things started happening to me and it got real quick.
Okay. So you talk about conspiracy theories. What's the biggest conspiracy theory to you? Which one do you think is the most like this is actually happening?
It's just really, you can't even, I won't call it conspiracy theory. It's just the realization that capitalism is really a driving force in this country, and corporations are more powerful than people at this point. And actually, I have something I could read quick.
Yeah, next or
that capitalism isn't broken, it's fixed. And capitalism is a rigged system designed to funnel wealth to a tiny elite. Their wealth is a result of exploiting our labor and our planet's resources. Since the 1970s, we've been told over and over the lie of trickle-down economics, like with Reagan. If we cut taxes for the rich, it'll create jobs and we'll all benefit. We heard that with George W. too. But how's that worked out for us? The ruling class has been fighting class warfare against us, destroying the environment, expanding the prison industrial complex, cutting public education, slashing social programs, and declaring war on unions. As the rich get richer, we work harder, while increasingly many of us struggle to get by. I mean, look at that. Like when the pandemic happened, how many people lost their jobs? How many people were forced into homelessness? You know, that was me. I was sleeping on people's floors. I was sleeping in cars. And why? Where was the social support for me? You know, I didn't get any unemployment. I was left out like a dog. So what is democratic socialism? Under a healthy democracy, people rule. In reality, it is very important. In reality, banks, financial institutions, and corporations have amassed more power than the government itself. Their decisions impact us all, but no one elected them, and they are not accountable to anyone. Their only motivation is their bottom line. The economic and political decisions which affect the lives of ordinary people should be under popular control. I almost said population control. That's another thing they're trying to use on us. Capitalism limits democracy because the economic elite can buy power that should be in the hands of the people. As socialists, we believe that the only sustainable and just approach is to replace capitalism, a system that disregards the well-being of the people and the planet, with a system designed to promote the prosperity of the many rather than the few. And that would be democratic socialism. I don't even agree 100% with democratic socialism, but it's kind of a starting point. I give this pamphlet out at my shows. I have copies of this and some other ones too.
You give out reading material to your fans.
Yes.
Okay.
On a donation basis, you know.
He's educating them.
Exactly. I'm all for it. Yeah. I'm all for it. That's a first for me. I've never gone to a wrestling show and some guy passed me a pamphlet. Like that's never been a thing for me.
Yeah.
Be careful, Harry.
I'm scared.
Okay. We've got another few minutes before we need to wrap it up. But Harry, is there anything that you want to ask before?
Where can we find you next, Red? What is next on the Red Sawyer tour?
What is next? Let me think.
And who are you wrestling next?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
He just shows up where he's hired
at the next test of strength. At the next test of strength show, I suppose. Okay. Training day 43. It'll be on a Sunday.
Yep.
November 6th, I believe.
Okay. Do you have any?
Shall see what happens.
Any goals as far as like going for any championships anytime soon, or anything such as that nature? Besides the K1, I mean, I know that you had answered with the K1 before.
I mean, right now, I'm just kind of kicking around, hoping to get anything going. Really, it's I don't want to put the horse before the carriage on a lot of places. Like, let's talk BST, for example. There's plenty of belts there. You know, Lucas Chase just lost it. I think a lot of people just lost their belts, no?
Yeah, I think
there were a lot of changes at the last show.
It was the beginning of a new era at the BST, if I remember correctly.
Pause really quick. Sorry. You were close, Red. It's November 5th, training day 43.
Training. I knew it was one or the other. Other.
All good. That's why we do our research. But yes, it was a new day, so to speak, for BST wrestling. All championships changed hands. You know, all of them. Your compadre Dan DeMan is the new territory champion. That could be a move for you. Bobby Buffet is your new BST champion. That could be a move for you. You can find yourself a partner. Those tag team titles newly minted. That could be a move for you.
It's true.
There's plenty of opportunity. That being said, can anybody find you on socials? Is that a thing for you? Is that somewhere that you like to communicate with people?
Yeah, people can find me on Instagram mainly at red.sawyer. Find me on Facebook, Red Sawyer.
Okay.
They keep telling me to make a Twitter. I have, oh my God, it's such a long story, but now that Twitter was it X? Now
Yes.
they
X.
changed. I might
X.
be able to get back on, but it's for me, it's going to be a long sign up process because I wasn't allowed on Twitter anymore. Like,
Did you get banned?
You're one of those guys that speaks
yes.
your own mind, and then you get banned
I was-
because, you know, I mean, freedom is not necessarily really free, the freedom of speech
No.
thing. So, yeah, I know people that have been booted from Twitter for being very opinionated, which sometimes I tend to disagree with. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. You know, I got shadow banned from Twitter. We're going to see about X. Maybe in another, I think they told me another 3 weeks I'll be able to open an account.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. Well,
Just keep your eye, Red Sawyer.
It was an absolute pleasure speaking with you, Red.
Yes.
Really, wow.
I hope nothing but great things for you in your future. As far as a wrestler, I could see you being a force out here in the Northeast over this next year. Yeah, it was a great talking to you.
You're welcome back at any time if you want.
At any time.
Promote anything that you got coming forward. You know, you got events that you got people you're going to beat the hell out of.
Any more conspiracy theories you want to talk about, by all means.
Right.
Yeah. You're always welcome back here, sir.
Very good. If this is a platform I'm welcome on, then we can work together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Red, I will see you soon.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Harry.